Good morning. Welcome into another installment of Trust Matters Real Estate Planning Solutions with our guest, Sean Robertson from Gateville Law Firm. They're located in Yorkville at gatevillalawfirm.com. Sean, welcome back to our studios as today we're going to be focusing on the topic of the benefits here of creating a living trust for estate planning. We've kind of touched on this in previous shows. Always good to go over some of these important things again. A living trust, that legal document, holds your assets during your lifetime, and once you pass away, it distributes them, and this is important, so there's no, like, a gray area with a lot of this stuff, which can happen if you don't have this in place, right?
Absolutely. It's very important, and I think the one thing that people underestimate is the importance of incapacity. Death is one that everybody thinks about, but the area that nobody thinks about is what happens if my parent can't make decisions. They're going into a nursing home. They have dementia, Alzheimer's. These things are probably bigger than death.
Yeah, and comes up more often than you would expect. And like you mentioned, you're not prepared for it sometimes because that can happen fairly quickly as well. And suddenly you have to make some decisions in that regard as well. So the benefits of creating the living trust for estate planning, so many people like to opt for this option, and what are some of the main benefits and main reasons they do?
Yeah, I think the major reason are avoiding probate, number one. Probate court can just be a pain in the butt. I just got out of probate court today and spent an hour and a half in court. So number one, you've got attorney fees. And then, like, I have a client right now that has a probate matter in Grundy County where the only thing that there is real estate. And the court, against my client's will, basically has forced the sale of the house because the loan was in her husband's name. So unfortunately, when you're in court, you can't do some of the things you could do if the matter's is outside of court. So number one, avoiding probate. Privacy is a big one now. Control during incapacity. Flexibility in management. Beneficiaries receive assets faster with the living trust, and obviously the most common one that people care about is reduction in legal fees and cost. It's a dramatic reduction with the living trust versus probate.
Maybe take a little time to speak more about the incapacity situation, because you mentioned that at the outset of the segment. The control during incapacity, that's a big one.
That is a big one. Like, I was talking to a local realtor on the way here, and she has a client where the mom is going into assisted living or nursing home situation, and the problem that can occur is a lot of times a house needs to be sold. So if it's in a living trust, and it's just a smoother process. You can still do something with the power of attorney, but the bottom line is if you have an incapacity without a power of attorney or a trust, it's a very big legal problem.
Some of the other things that you mentioned, and money is always one that gets people's attention, the reduction of legal fees and costs. How much of a difference are we talking about in money if you do this versus not doing the living trust?
I think you're talking about a minimum of $5,000 to $7,000 and potentially $20,000 to $40,000 in a contested situation. You're dealing with a lot of money.
What other points of interest in our last minute or so to let folks know how important this is, a living trust for estate planning?
Yeah, I think the other benefit, too, that people I hear talk about is they want themselves to make the decision on who gets what and when they get it versus the government. That's a big one. So the living trust provides a lot of flexibility. What I mean by that is, let's say you have a 20-year-old. You may not want a 20-year-old to get an inheritance right away. So there's things that the trust can do to protect your beneficiaries.
And in our last 30 seconds or so, how easy is the process to get it started to work through Gateville Law Firm to make this happen?
It's really easy. So the first step is just come in and talk to us. The second step is normally we review the documents with the client, make sure that it meets your needs, answer your questions, and then the third step is signing. So it's a fairly simple process. So
All right. The best way to get it started, of course, is to contact Gateville Law Firm. Sean Robertson can help you or any of the fine staff at Gateville you can call 630-780-1034. That's 630-780-1034. Or go online at gatevillelawfirm.com. At Gateville Law Firm, Trust Matters. We'll see you again next time for another installment of Trust Matters with Gateville Law Firm in Yorkville.